You think I'm gonna let this little Barbie-looking heifer come up here and talk about my mama?
Heifer? Did you just call me fat? And I did not just talk about your mama.
Well, developing closer to home, a man is in custody for the murder of a 22-year-old woman in Cobb County.
Hey, beauty. Sisters, for life. There are times in life, very few, when you're given a gift that never goes away. You are that gift for me, a light that never dims. Keep glowing, keep filling the sky. I love you.
On a scorching Wednesday afternoon in August, a small plume of black smoke rose above the tree line in Austell, Georgia. To anyone driving past Joe Jerkins Boulevard, it looked like a routine brush fire. Nothing out of the ordinary. When the fire department arrived, they found a sedan tucked just off the road, completely engulfed in flames. They pulled the hoses, put out the fire, and called a tow truck to clear the charred hollow shell of the car. It was treated as a minor property crime, a stolen car, dumped and burned. But a few miles away, a mother named Kimberly Couch was looking at her phone, feeling a pit form in her stomach. Her 22-year-old daughter, Beauty, wasn't answering her texts. Beauty was a college student, an athlete, and a rising social media star with nearly 150,000 followers who knew her as Beauty Katera. She didn't just disappear. When police ran the VIN number on that burned sedan, it traced back to Kimberly's home, and when officers walked back to that smoking patch of woods to look a little closer, they realized this wasn't a case of arson. Hidden in the tree line, just feet from where the car had been burning, lay Beauty. She had been stabbed 81 times. How does a young woman, loved by hundreds of thousands online, end up discarded in the dirt? The answer lay in the hands of a man who claimed he loved her. A man who bought her flowers, who smiled in her photos, and who thought he could outrun a piece of paper left in the mud. This is the story of Beauty Couch, and the chilling trail of evidence that brought a killer to justice. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next case.
2 hands up, keep 'em up. 2 hands up, keep 'em up. 2 hands up, keep 'em up. Take it to the flow. Take it to the flow.
To understand the shockwave this case sent through Georgia, you have to understand who Beauty Couch was. She was the heart of Atlanta's roller skating scene, a dancer on 8 wheels who made impossibly hard footwork look like walking. Her videos pulled in millions of views. She was winning regional competitions, and she was doing all of it while still in college. To her family, she was the anchor. Her sister Layla described her as a protector, someone who brought light into every room she entered. And then, into that light, walked Eugene Louis Jacques. Eugene was 21 years old, a fellow roller skater from Florida. In the skating world, circles are tight. Everyone knows everyone. Eugene and Beauty crossed paths, and the attraction was instant. Eugene made the decision to move from Florida up to Georgia, telling people he wanted to be closer to Beauty. He wanted to build something with her. To the outside world, it looked like a perfect match. But there was one detail Beauty's family couldn't shake. Whenever Eugene came around, he barely spoke. Not shy small talk, quiet. A silence that felt deliberate, like a man carefully choosing to give away nothing. Domestic violence rarely starts with an explosion. It starts with a shift in the atmosphere. Beauty's sister Layla would later recount that whenever Eugene was around the family, he was abnormally quiet. Beauty's mother, Kimberly, was even more direct. She later admitted to reporters that from the very beginning, she got a bad vibe from Eugene. It was an instinct. A mother's intuition that told her something under the surface of this boy's polite exterior was deeply wrong. But Beauty was 22, independent, and in love. She trusted him. She believed the flowers. She had no way of knowing that the man who moved across state lines to be close to her was quietly calculating how to take her away forever.
That guy that was buying her flowers and taking her out and, making her smile at one point, how did it get here? I just can't believe this.
I met him one time, and when I met him, I was like, hey, how you doing? That was it. And I was like, looked at my baby, and then I like, that person is not going to be the right person for my baby.
Let's reconstruct the final 24 hours of Beauty Couch's life, because this is where the timeline becomes crucial. On Tuesday, August the 22nd, Beauty was alive and well. She was seen by her family, going about her day. But as the evening progressed, communication stopped. Her phone went dark. For an influencer whose livelihood depended on being connected, and a daughter who always checked in, the silence was deafening. We now know, through the investigation, that sometime between Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, Beauty was lured or taken to a secluded area off Joe Jerkins Boulevard. Think about the location for a moment. It's a dead-end stretch, flanked by thick, overgrown brush and trees. It's the kind of place you only go if you want to disappear, or if you want to make something disappear. It was here that the confrontation happened, and it wasn't a quick, tragic argument that got out of hand. The prosecution would later stress this point to the jury. 81 stab wounds. That number means the attacker did not stop when the victim fell. They did not stop when the victim stopped fighting back. It is a repetitive, exhausting act of physical violence that takes minutes of sustained, furious effort. It is the definition of malice. Once the act was done, the killer faced a problem. Beauty was missing. Her body was in the woods, and her car was sitting right there. So they struck a match. The killer doused the sedan and set it ablaze, expecting the fire to consume everything. They expected the car to burn to ash, the heat to destroy any forensic evidence, and the smoke to buy them hours, maybe days, to escape. But fire is unpredictable. It attracts attention. When the fire department arrived at 18 minutes past noon on Wednesday, they put out the flames so quickly that the car didn't fully disintegrate. The VIN number survived, the license plate was traceable, and most importantly, the killer, in their frantic rush to light the match and flee the scene, dropped something. Something tiny. Something routine. Investigators almost missed it in the grass. A single paper traffic ticket, sitting just feet from Beauty's body, and printed across the top, in plain black ink, was a name: Eugene Louis Jacques. While police in Cobb County were standing in the woods, looking down at Eugene's name on a traffic citation, Eugene wasn't anywhere near Georgia. The moment the fire was lit, Eugene had gone into survival mode. He didn't return to his apartment. He didn't call Beauty's family to ask why she wasn't picking up. He got into his vehicle and hit the interstate, heading west, then south. He drove through the night, crossing state lines, putting hundreds of miles between himself and the burning woods of Austell. By Friday, he had made it all the way to St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana, nearly 7 hours away. He thought he had outrun the jurisdiction of the Cobb County Police Department, but murder warrants cross state lines faster than a car can drive. On August the 26th, just 3 days after Beauty's body was discovered, Louisiana deputies spotted Eugene's vehicle. They pulled him over. When deputies walked up to his window and asked for his name, Eugene didn't flinch. He looked them in the eye and gave them a completely fake identity. Michael Waters, he told them, a fake date of birth. He acted like a man who had simply been stopped for a routine traffic violation. But the deputies knew exactly who was sitting in that driver's seat. They ordered him out of the car and cuffed him. When investigators searched Eugene's car right there on the shoulder of the Louisiana highway, they found 2 massive pieces of evidence. First, receipts showing he had been actively using that fake alias to hide his tracks while traveling. Second, and far more damning, a pair of tennis shoes at his feet, stained with dark, copper-colored spots. Blood. Eugene Louis Jacques was locked in a Louisiana holding cell, waiting for extradition back to Georgia. The internet star was dead, the boyfriend was in chains, and a community was left asking why.
Well, developing closer to home, a man is in custody for the murder of a 22-year-old woman in Cobb County. Police say 21-year-old Eugene Louis Jacques is suspected of killing Beauty Couch Wednesday morning, then setting her car on fire. Loved ones say Couch had so much promise. She was attending college and was an Instagram influencer. This is what her mom told Fox 5 earlier this week.
They hurt my baby so bad. My baby didn't deserve this. My baby was a good baby. She was a sweet girl. She never bothered nobody. She was a friend to everybody.
Yeah, mother's pain right there. We're working to get Eugene Louis Jacques mugshot. Police say he was arrested in St. Tammany Parish, Louisiana. He's charged with murder. arson, and aggravated assault. He's waiting extradition to Cobb County.
It took nearly 3 years for the wheels of justice to turn. But in May of 2026, Eugene Louis Jacques finally stood trial in Cobb County, Georgia. The prosecution laid out a timeline of absolute brutality, painting Eugene not as a grieving boyfriend, but as a calculated killer who executed a woman he claimed to love, burned her property, and lied to police to save himself. The defense fired back with 2 sharp arguments. First, forensics. An 81 stab wound attack should leave blood everywhere. Yet Eugene's clothes and car came back clean of Beauty's DNA. Second, the ticket itself. The defense told the jury it was too convenient, too perfect, that a real killer would never leave a document with his own name on it beside a body. They suggested someone else had planted it to frame him. The prosecution had an answer waiting for both. No blood in the car, because Eugene had hours to change clothes and clean up before hitting the highway. And the planted ticket theory only holds up if you believe a mystery third party murdered Beauty, staged the scene, and then somehow talked Eugene into fleeing to Louisiana under a fake name 3 days later. Innocent people don't run 7 hours away. Innocent people don't give a fake name to a sheriff's deputy. The jury didn't need long to deliberate. On Friday, May the 22nd, 2026, the courtroom fell dead silent as the jury foreman stood up to read the verdict. Eugene Louis Jacques was found guilty on all counts: malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, arson, concealing the death of another, and tampering with evidence. During the sentencing phase, Beauty's family finally got their chance to speak directly to the man who took her away. Her mother, Kimberly, spoke of the empty space in their home, the videos that will never be filmed, and the graduation milestones that will never happen. When Cobb County Superior Court Judge Kimberly Childs took the bench to deliver the final sentence, she showed no leniency. Eugene Louis Jacques, now 24 years old, was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The judge tacked on an additional 20 to 21 years to run consecutively for the arson and the concealment of her body. He was led out of the courtroom in chains, destined to spend the rest of his natural life behind bars.
11 Alive's Teresa Bowles talked with members of Beauty Couch's family.
Nothing can fill that space.
No sleep. I see her face all day. I'm able to talk to you now without crying.
But there are little beacons of hope for the Brown family.
See that sun is shining. She's here.
She's Beauty Couch, a sister to Lila and Mario, but to thousands of followers, a champion skater. At only 22 years old, Beauty was found dead Wednesday in the woods here next to her home. Police found the car she was driving engulfed in flames near Lander Street and Joe Jerkins Boulevard, across from these train tracks in Austell.
I feel like my heart was taken.
The family tried to put the pieces together for days until hope came. Cobb County Police announced that 21-year-old Eugene Louis Jacques was arrested in Louisiana. He faces murder, arson, and aggravated assault charges.
I met him. I've known Eugene to be her boyfriend.
I talked to him one time. Bad news.
Beauty is Mario's baby sister. His only regret, that he couldn't protect her.
I felt blame. I felt like I could have been there for her a little bit more. Through it all, I feel like that she was trying to give me answers or trying to give me a sign that something was happening to her.
And now, in that same spot of Beauty's tragedy lays a sign of remembrance. Beauty's family honored her with balloons, flowers, and teddy bears, while disagreeing, as siblings do,
Death penalty.
on their different ideas about justice, that is.
I want him to look in those 4 walls and see her face. I want him to go to sleep and see her face. I want him to be able to not sleep and feel what we're feeling.
What Lila and Mario do agree on is their mutual call for Eugene to pay for his crimes one way or another.
To Eugene, if he's listening, I want you to remember my face, own up to what you've done, and take it like a man.
Hoping that if he does, Beauty can finally roll in peace.
Long live Beauty. Beauty is her name, and it's gonna ring forever.
Beauty Couch's life was cut short at just 22 years old, a victim of the deepest kind of betrayal. But if you look at the roller skating community in Atlanta today, her impact hasn't faded. Her friends, her family, and her followers continue to share her videos, host tribute skates, and make sure her name isn't remembered for how her life ended in those woods, but for how she lived it on 8 wheels. Free, graceful, and full of light. If this case moved you, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. And make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a case like this one.
Hey, Beauty. Sisters for life. There are times in life, very few, when you're given a gift that never goes away. You are that gift for me, a light that never dims. Keep glowing, keep filling the sky. I love you. I still cannot believe that you are not here with us, but I know that you're in a much better place, and you're watching over every single one of us who showed you love and who didn't show you love. Justice for you is coming very soon. But for now, fly high. I love you. This is for you. To the moon, girl, to the moon.
It wasn't a thought in my head that really like beauty. So I started like
I wish I knew which direction that was.
Southeast.